Anycubic sponsored this video and sent over their new Kobra X for us to take a look at. This is Anycubic's new multi-material printer with their ACE Gen 2 multifunctional system, which shortens retraction time paths and minimizes the amount of purge you have to do. The system comes capable of printing 4 different filaments at a time by default, so you don't need to buy any extra things off the top to get started with multi-filament printing. I wasn't sure exactly how this was going to come to us. This is a good time to note. This is a prototype, so the actual production units may vary slightly. Quickly looking at how it's packaged, it looks like it's pretty well assembled. I wouldn't be too concerned about things getting damaged in shipping, though right off the bat, there is a fair bit to assemble once you get it out of the box compared to some of the competitors. Looks like we have the print base first. They certainly didn't skimp out on the packing foam on this one, which is both good and not necessarily the best for environmental, but you know, at least the product's probably gonna make it to you in one piece. Taking a quick look through their instructions, doesn't look too complicated, but there are some parts that you definitely wanna make sure you don't forget, especially like unlocking the Z-axis, which is fairly standard for some printers, just again, to make sure nothing gets damaged in shipping. It does look like they include all of the tools that you need to get the build set up, and probably some extra components as well, including a needle for what I would assume is clearing out the nozzle. Weirdly common for 3D printers. Unlike some printers I've seen, these look like they're using plastic brackets. I've seen some other manufacturers using metal brackets, but shouldn't be a problem one way or another. We have what looks like some cast zinc components to assemble things together, or potentially aluminum. Looks like the mounts are pretty sturdy. For this type of printer, I'm sure it's plenty good enough. And the main axes are coupled together with a belt for the vertical aspect, which should again be more than adequate. As much as I love Allen keys. Screwdrivers. And for those of you that don't like cast finished or machine parts showing, they do include some aesthetic covers for these as well. Next up, connecting the print head, camera, and XY motor cables. It's pretty slick mounting. In terms of spool holders, it's one of the quicker ones I've assembled. And time to install a whole bunch of Teflon tubes. Looking a little bit like an octopus, but those are all fed in now. And looks like the next step for this is power on. Going through and putting this together, pretty straightforward, all things considered, especially for a printer at this price point. And they do send a double-sided textured PEI plate that they say is good for PLA, ABS, and PETG. Interesting that this particular one doesn't say it's good for TPU, but I suspect it would probably work fine. They do have a full magnetic bed that holds it down, which is fairly standard. Overall build construction looks acceptable. It's a bunch of aluminum extrusion for the supports, some plastic couplings at the top and bottom with stickers everywhere to make sure things don't come apart. So they do include a very short length of PLA for a test print. Cool. You can skip the Wi-Fi configuration, so it looks like you can run it just locally. And the classic, download an app. 1 second, please. Make an Anycubic account. Can I skip this? Yay, I can. Nice. All right, next up, it does give you a warning to make sure that the Z-axis mounts are off, which is good. If they could damage things if they're still on, I'm glad that they included this, because people will forget if you don't tell them. Kind tips. Calibration is about to begin, and expected duration is 35 minutes. While this thing is calibrating, I wouldn't recommend doing this, but let's take a look under the hood. Little heat sink, a silicone covered hot end, and it does look like their melt zone is very short, which would help contribute to their claims about less waste and faster print times. And part of their ACE Gen 2 system is adaptive force on the filaments that allows you to compensate for using different types of filaments like TPU or ABS, and you shouldn't have to adjust how firmly it's gripping it. And they have a little tiny and relatively whiny cooling fan, which I'm guessing will be running for the vast majority of the time you're printing. If you're sensitive to that, keep that in mind. Other features of this printer include active bed leveling with 49-point compensation and apparently active noise canceling, which I'm guessing is how the motors will function and try to minimize how much noise the printer makes outside of the fan. We'll get the rest of this thing set up, calibrated, and run a print. Then we can come back and talk about the experience. Now that I've had an opportunity to take a look through this printer and get a little bit of use out of it, I do have some thoughts. Right off the bat, setting it up, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. They have a pretty nice UI and audio input for when you're feeding in your filaments. Nice and immediate feedback, and it gives you a good indication that you've done it correctly. You can feed through all of them individually, and the UI for implementing it is pretty straightforward. You can choose all of your colors fairly easily and choose in which location they're going to. In terms of getting a print started, it was pretty simple as well. The print that I chose to do was one of the default ones on their machine, which is this multicolored dragon. It came out really well. They have some pretty good texture details on it, and the multicolor worked really well. One detail, as with all single extruder multifilaments, there is a fair bit of material waste. Though, compared to some of the other competition, it is substantially better, but it's still quite a bit of plastic for a print this size. So that is a thing to take into account. A couple of other features. It does have an RFID reader for being able to scan your spool and then load it in. The usability of it is okay. You take one of your filament rolls, scan it on the RFID reader, and then I believe within 5 minutes, if you feed it into a specific location, it'll automatically load it into that spool location. Relatively simple, but also a bit contrived when the UI for entering them here is pretty simple. One feature that I learned about, not from my own trial, but from researching it a little bit online, is their filament detection. Out of most of the other printers that I've used, this one I'm actually quite impressed by. If one of the spools runs out of filament, the head will detect it and then spit out a very short length of filament that is the scrap. Unlike a lot of other ones where you'd have to feed it back all the way through the tube or something like that, the design here is actually very impressive. Other printer manufacturers could take note on this one. While this is getting started, a couple other features that it does have on the back: a nozzle wiper, just to help make sure that the tip's cleaned right off. That helps it probe more consistently and have more clean prints in general. Weird UI things. On this screen, anytime the print bed is hot, it says, "The heat bed is hot. Please do ... Please do what though? There is a way to like exit it out, but it'll always come back whenever you start a print, which is just a little weird. A couple of other features that I noticed later on. There is a camera on board for, I believe, AI detection of print failures and to enable a time lapse of your print if you want to. They also include a nice little privacy screen for if you just want to make sure it can't see what you're doing for one reason or another. After going through and using this machine, I'm pretty pleased with it, especially for the price that it's at. With the retail price being $400 US, it's a pretty accessible printer, especially for what it is. I do have a bit of a question about longevity and how the hardware will stand up over time. And as with all multi-filament single extruder printers, you do end up with a fair bit of waste if you're doing a lot of multicolor 3D printing, but printers that solve that problem are a couple of times more expensive than this. So for what it is, highly impressed. Thanks again to Anycubic for sponsoring this short circuit, and get subscribed.